1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Welcome to number 7 in this series of Shutdown showcases, which I've come to realise has become much more than just a showcase. For me personally, it has been a cathartic link to music and my friends, without which I know I would be feeling somewhat scarred from this lockdown experience. I feel we are also building an archive of our interface with these times, which will be stored forever to look back on. If it was indeed possible, I guess the content compared to the live club has become even more eclectic. I don't quite know how many watch these shows, but something happened this week that made me realise it only needs a few. I was running late with this show and I was suffering lockdown lethargy. I was thinking, one more week, who cares? Then I heard that Royston royalty, Kay and Johnny Bull, have had a very bad week. Johnny was whisked into hospital, leaving Kay devastated and alone due to the COVID restrictions. Johnny has now been allowed to return to home, and Kay reported on Facebook, alongside a picture of a very grey, very poorly Johnny, "I'm feeling very emotional. Johnny's back, and we've just sat and watched and listened to all the Royston Folk Club Shutdown showcases this morning. Johnny's in his Fred's house t-shirt, very sleepy. He woke and said, 'That's Mark Gammon,' and then drifted off again." Kay said, "We are still front row fans. Kay and Johnny, on behalf of all of your friends, which includes all the musicians, we wish you both the very, very best."
Hello, Roystonians. I've come in for some criticism of late because on these lockdown shows I haven't been wearing a hat. To which my answer is, well, I've nothing to hide. Literally nothing to hide. But just to keep people happy, I thought I've got a selection of hats here we could try. There's this one, which is, I call this my cliched northerner hat, although actually my grandfather always wore one of these and he was anything but northern. Then there's this one. There's my Moroccan fez hat. There we go. There's a 50s businessman hat, yes. This is my going for boating, punting along the Cam hat. Then there's the Old English gardener hat, yeah. And this one I like to call my Dave Oxley style hat. But I think the one I'm going to stick with is the one that I call my double bass playing hat, because it's one I nearly always wear when I'm playing the double bass. So this is my hat for today.
Thank you to our co-host, Brian Harvey, for that very needed respite. More news. Ba-ba-dum, bum-bum. The Old Bull Inn has reopened, under COVID restrictions, of course. I wrote to manager Ben, "Good luck with your reopening. Royston Folk Club sincerely hopes that a second wave of COVID does not shut everything down again. We're looking forward to coming back when it's safe to do so, and we feel that we must wait for more mass gathering guidelines from the government, and frankly can't see concerts being safe before a vaccine is distributed. So for now, keep up the good work. Please keep us in your future plans and keep the Old Bull going for us to return to when we can." In the last episode, we featured the Sing Out Choir from charity 1-to-1 Enfield with their lockdown song, "Hey Jude." So how did they do that? All those faces on the screen, all in unison. When you get to the end of the show, I have one more video for you, explaining how choir leader Camilla visited each member, first to record them, and then to show them the finished video. The video to date has raised £620 through the Just Giving app. Now time for some music, and Brian Harvey is back with that hat and a song.
Okay, this is the second song that I've written, which refers to the lockdown. Hopefully this one's a little bit more positive about the future. It's called 2020 Vision. and asked us to imagine a very different way of life, not one that's ruled by exploitation, where greed and poverty are rife. What a shame we never listened. Now we've had a wake-up call. This might be the dress rehearsal. This time we must not drop the ball. No man's an island, said the poet. The truth in all of us resounds. The same is also true of countries. Virus and climate know no bounds. We need to learn to work together and to accept our share of blame. We've more in common than divides us. As humans we are all the same. We turn a blind eye to pollution, choose not to see the factory farm, ignoring science and solutions, destroying species, what's the harm? Real value isn't in possessions, a bigger car, a better yard. The more we have, the more we're wanting, not satisfied with what we've got. The cost of simply making money in the end will cost the earth. If we just plunder its resources, if we don't realize its worth. But now we must make a decision, consign our blindness to the past. We need our 2020 vision if our planet is to last. But now we must make a decision, consign our blindness to the past. We need our 2020 vision if our planet is to last. Thank you.
This episode is largely homegrown and very reflective of our times. Cosser is back with a very shiny piano and a comedy song about the struggle with lockdown hair.
Hello Royston ears, I hope you're all still okay. I thought I'd better record this song before it goes out of date like my last one. It's called Lockdown Lament and it's not meant to be taken remotely seriously because I promise you I'm not really this shallow, honestly. concert halls are empty, the theatres are dark, and I won't go out in public, so I can't even take a stroll in the park. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I can't wait for the day when they hit me with that serum and fix me with some spray. Sorry if I'm seeming vain for fretting about my bushy old mane, but glossy and smooth are really where it's at. Until I can be salon bound, I'm happy to have gone to ground and hide my tendrils under my Royston hat. Appointment on July the 10th. Get in. Bye everyone. See you soon, I hope.
Les Ray is our trusty leader of The Bridge, a live music club collective to which RFC belongs. With The Bridge, we've twice run a club stage session at the Cambridge Folk Festival, and Les presents folk music old and new, along with news of what's happening on the folk scene, on his radio show Strummers and Dreamers on Cambridge 105.
Hi everyone, I'm Les Ray from Red Velvet. First of all, huge thanks to Chris and the team for including us in this particular edition of the Shutdown sessions. Now, Red Velvet have a new EP out, and we were due to release it back in March and April, but then COVID-19 and the shutdown put paid to that plan, so we're now releasing it on the 1st of July. Since we weren't able to do a launch gig as we planned, our friend Naomi Randall, who designed the cover art for the EP, which is called If Hawks Were Doves, by the way, suggested that she could do a video for us, and we embraced the idea fully, and she's done a brilliant job. It's of the lead track on the album, which is called The Last Thing We Need Is Another Love Song, and here it comes up now. I hope you like it.
The last thing we need is another love song, those ones that break your heart in two. But if this song is not a love song, then what other song could I sing with you? I guess it could be a song of protest. After all, in this world there's so much that's wrong, and we should be down in the square protesting. And the last thing we need is another song. Existential, all about the meaning of why we're here. We could search the world for the elemental, or just pass the time drinking wine and beer. The last thing we need is another love song, those ones that break your heart in two. But if this song is not a thing we need is another love song. If we don't love, we may just survive. This living game isn't worth the candle. Only when we love are we truly alive. The last thing we need is another love song. Those ones that break your heart in two. But if this song is not a love song, then what other song could I sing with you? But if this song is not a love song, then what other song could I sing to you?
Jeremy Harmer was one of my earliest lockdown inspirations. I've already featured 2 of his solo projects in previous shows. If you are missing a live get-together, Jeremy is hosting one of the best drop-in and sing sessions on Zoom every Wednesday and Friday. Drop him a line on Facebook Messenger and ask for a Zoom code to watch or join in with the session. Jeremy agrees with me that lockdown has provided the time and motivation to exceed previous boundaries, and he says, "I have found, along with others, joy in the lockdown folk sessions that we run, and then this, a song of peace, taken from the oratorio Ireland for Children of All Ages by Jeremy Harmer and Phill Toms. It features the beautiful singing of Jennifer Bingham and the players from the enhanced virtual Castle Orchestra, who are harvested from the Cambridge Philharmonic Orchestra and the Ely Symphonia. And now I am extremely pleased to present an exceptional tech and musical masterpiece from Jeremy Harmer and Phill Toms and Steve Bingham.
To be gentle, 'cause then they're strong. We try our best to teach them right from wrong. We say instead of fighting, they should learn a song. Instead of fighting, they should learn a song. They should learn a song. Which will it be for me? Which will it be? Which will it be? They ask, which will it be for me?
Why can't we find a better way to solve our problems, all our problems day by day? Let's talk this through, let's put the guns away. We have to find, we have to find. Please let us find a better way. We have to stop the storm clouds coming here. We've never fought, so we don't want fighting here. Our sons and daughters should never live in fear. We have to stop, please let us stop. We have to stop, we don't want fighting here.
We tell our children to be gentle because then they're strong. We try our best to teach them right from wrong.
Our sons and daughters should never live in fear. We have to stop, please let us stop. We have to stop, we don't want fighting here.
I pray this sudden dash to war will somehow cease. And the song we're singing will be a song of peace, to banish fear and bring us all release. And the song we sing, the song we sing, the song we sing will be a song of peace.
I think you'll agree that was exceptional and an amazing celebration of local talent. In this next section, we have some very familiar Royston folk. On a previous show, I featured a poem that regular Roystoner Carl Filby wrote as a young man. Carl has been inspired by lockdown to write some more poetry. A little bit of politics in there. Adrian Hall has played for us many times live at the Old Bull. So I was very pleased to receive this lockdown video. I think the video medium rather suits Adrian, capturing every nuance of voice, song and guitar. Favourites Martin Kaszack and Afifi have found an unlikely venue to socially distance in, so good to hear their music here again on the show. First off, Carl.
Hello, Chris, and all you Roystoneers. It's Carl Filby here, and not Wurzel Gummidge, as you might have deduced from the hat. Now, let me just tip my hat and then get rid of it. It's far too hot for wearing hats today. It's nice to see Angie getting better, by the way, and let's hope that continues. Now, I've just heard that Robert Jenrick has been supported by Number 10 in the face of the latest allegations. Of course, they've got to support him now after all the support they gave to that nice person, Mr. Dominic Cummings. And in fact, speaking of him, I have written a couple of poems, the first of which features Mr. Cummings. So now might be a good time to go and make a cup of tea if you want one. But here's the first one, and it's called Dominic's Dilemma. I'm so clever that everything's boring. I don't know how to fill my day. So I thought I would go for a very long drive. I know just the place for Mary's birthday. Since the general election, when everything went our way, I've been feeling a little bit poorly and deserve a holiday. I haven't seen my parents for weeks on end, and that idiot Hancock is driving me round the bend. But I have a moral dilemma. No, actually, I don't give a toss. After all, I'm that sage chap who wrote the rules for everyone else, and they're all fools. That's the first one. Now you'll notice I've carefully angled the camera so that you can't see the collection of empty beer bottles behind me and all the other mess. But anyway, that was the first one, and I wrote this other one also a couple of weeks ago, and it's about the NHS. I hope we don't have a second wave coming, but I'm sure we're all really grateful to the NHS. And anyway, this is my little tribute, and it's called We Are the NHS. COVID came into our world and turned it upside down, ending lives before their time in country and in town. Everyone's in lockdown. Friends are far apart. They can't touch and they can't hug. It's a dagger to the heart. We are the soldiers now, and we must fight the war. Lead the charge to heal the sick, then fight on as before. Our names may be forgotten, but not the courage we possess. We fight for you, your future too. We are the NHS. Stay safe, everyone.
This is a song called Hills of Shiloh by Shel Silverstein, who wrote songs such as Cover of the Rolling Stone and Sylvia's Mother for Dr. Hook. And it's about the aftermath of the American Civil War. Have you seen Amanda Blaine in the hills of Shiloh, wandering through the morning rain in the hills of Shiloh? Have you seen her at her door, listening for the cannons roar, and the man who went to war from the hills of Shiloh? Have you heard her mournful cries in the hills of Shiloh? Have you seen her haunted eyes in the hills of Shiloh? Have you seen her running down, searching through the sleeping town, in her faded wedding gown, in the hills of Shiloh? Have you seen her standing there in the hills of Shiloh, wind blowing through her hair in the hills of Shiloh? She's listening for the sound of guns, listening for the rolling drums, and the man who never comes to the hills of Shiloh. Have you heard Amanda sing in the hills of Shiloh, whispering to her wedding ring in the hills of Shiloh? Have you heard her humming low? Poor Amanda does not know. Landed 40 years ago in the hills of Shiloh. Landed 40 years ago in the hills of Shiloh.
Just off the northern coastline, the lively cutter sails, captained by young Campbell, only 25 years old. Late in September, came into London fast, dropped anchor there till midnight, goods were waiting for dispatch. The Lord is close tonight, church bells will warn their pipes. In the graveyard a young man lay, no soul prays for justice this day, but the Lord is close to have its way. So it's from medicine and whiskey that you can live on. It might not be that legal, we're in service of our Lord. Some will make a profit, and some will have no say. And some will feel their bellies, but it's weird that I will pay. The Lord is close tonight, church bells will warn their pipes. In the graveyard a young man lays, now his soul prays for justice this day, but the Lord is close to have his way. Radiant dreams of the customs with the man of high degree. He waited in the shadows for smugglers he couldn't see. His musket finder ready, his saber close to hand, and hearing Kimball's pistol crack, watch blood flow on his hand. The Lord is close tonight, church bells will warn their pipes. In the graveyard a young man lays, now his soul prays for justice this day, but the Lord is close to have his way. forget it's justice and the presence of our Lord. To hear Lord and its calls tonight. Church bells will warn their flight. In graveyard we agree lay. Now it's someone prays for justice this day. But the Lord is close to have its way. Oh, that Lord is close is here to stay. The Lord is close tonight. Church bells will warn their pride. Graveyard we relay. Song prays for justice this day. But the Lord is close to have his way. Oh, that Lord is close is here to stay.
Thank you, Carl, Adrian, Martin and Farah. I first met Pam Pecko Smith while working with folk rock band Serpentine. Just before Shutdown, we were talking about a project she was a part of called Away with the Fairies, which we were hoping to introduce in concert at Royston. During lockdown, the project has continued and I will feature a piece from them in our next show. But it was this next piece from Pam and pianist Margaret that drew me following the recent death of iconic film composer Ennio Morricone. Here is Pam to introduce the piece.
Hello to the audience at Royston Folk Club. I'm Pam Pecko Smith, flutist. Earlier this week, I released a lockdown video made in conjunction with my colleague Margaret Ozanne, pianist. In the video, we're playing music by the great Italian film music composer Ennio Morricone. Morricone composed this music for the wonderful Italian film Cinema Paradiso. I've been reading that Morricone had a love for the cinema from the time of childhood, and I wonder if this film touched him personally, as the protagonist in Cinema Paradiso is a young boy who develops a love for film. We hope you enjoy listening, and I thank Royston Folk Club for this opportunity and send a warm thanks to Chris Walls for his kind invitation to participate in a Shutdown showcase.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad.
Hello, hi, I'm Camilla and I'm the director of Sing Out Choir. We've been running for about 5 years as a collaborative project between One-to-One Enfield and my own organisation, the Music Therapy Tree. We are a choir that's specifically set up for adults on the autism spectrum or with a learning disability. So inclusion and collaboration is very, very much at the heart of everything we do. Pre the pandemic, we were doing concerts and seeing each other for our weekly rehearsal and socially connecting a lot through music. So when the pandemic hit and we had no option but to stop, we tried to keep things going by having weekly Zoom rehearsals instead, and also through doing Facebook sing-alongs every other day. You know, we've tried lots of different things to try and keep people socially connected. However, I was always painfully aware that not everyone in our choir had access to the internet, so wasn't able to see everyone. So I came up with the idea of driving round to our choir members' houses and filming them singing Hey Jude on their front doorsteps. It definitely lifted morale and spirits. That feeling of shared focus on having a shared task was really important. But I think the most exciting part since seeing everyone has been to go around and show them the video.
You have found her, now go and get her. Remember to